Sungrow is a leader in the research and development of solar inverters with a big R&D team and a deep product portfolio offering PV inverter solutions and energy storage systems. With a strong 25-year track record in a PV system solar, Sungrow products power has more than 150 countries in the world. So in this opportunity, I'm pleased to talk with Rafael Ribeiro, Brazil Country Manager at Sungrow. Rafael, welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. So it's my pleasure to talk with you today.
Thank you so much for being here. So Rafael, I want to ask you first, Sungrow is one of the leaders in PV sector. Let's talk about what are those products that the company is working on to continue being a leader in the sector.
So as you know, Sungrow is a leader company here in Brazil. We are here since 2017.
Yeah.
So we already have more than 6.5 gigawatts deployed since 17, which is big. Consider that Brazilian market is booming. And the business had growing a lot since 2019. So locally here, we work with the huge portfolio. We have inverters since 2 kilowatts for single phase and residential business until the central inverter solution for 6.8 megawatt block. In this case, we are participating in the whole business in Brazil. Just to have an idea, 45% of the Brazilian business is residential inverter, and we are in the middle market share for this business, residential. But when you focus to biggest inverters since 50 kilowatts until the central, we are the biggest one. It depends on the segment. We have more than 70% market share. In the total one, we are nowadays 33, 34% of the total market share in Brazil. It's good because the Brazilian market, it's moving fast. At the beginning, the business, specifically for utility scale, it was based on auctions, public auctions, right? And since 2020, the business moved for free market, which companies were focused in to sell for biggest consumers, right? And then we have a biggest market share on this business, selling string inverters like 125 on a specific segment, PV plants from 1 to 5 megawatts, which is one specific business in Brazil, and PV plants for utility that we are talking about more than 30 megawatts. We are offering one solution using 250 kilowatt inverter, 350 kilowatt inverter, and also the central ones like 3.4 or 6.8 megawatts.
As you said before, Brazilian market is growing so fast. And I want to ask you about your R&D team. Because we know it's bigger than more than other companies. And what is that innovation that Sungrow has in the market from the R&D team?
So for this year, we are bringing a new solution because Sungrow, we are trying to focus on flexible solution. That's the reason we are launching in the next week during the Intersolar South America, the new central inverter 1 plus X, which is one inverter 1.5 megawatt. We can coupling until 8 inverters, and then you can make 8.8 megawatt block. Why we are focused on this kind of solution? We are focused on flexibility, which is we have a smaller inverter, central inverter, and we have all of the inverter. It's based on the draw, which you can move and replace some components so fast. You can replace the whole inverter in just maximum 2 hours, which is good for the application, right? Because this kind of solution, we are focused to highest PV models, consider the voltage range, the current range for the MPPTs in that inverter. And for that solution, we are bring a new combiner box as well, using Wi-Fi wireless solution. Then we think that it should be better because we could avoid to use cabling and reduce the capex and the cost with EPC companies. That's our main project that we will show during the exhibition. In Sungrow perspective, we are really focused on this product since now that you can achieve bigger projects. We already sold one project right now. Then you can make one small ceremony in our booth next week to celebrate the first PO, which is 150 megawatts. For string inverter, we are bringing the new 350 kilowatts in order to focus in the solution when the customer prefer different layouts, right? In this case, we are offering these 350 kilowatts with MV station blocks until 90 megawatts per block. And also we are bringing new residential inverter, the new generation. We are showed during the exhibition. Besides Brazil is not so big as a business for storage, but we are bringing one is a residential inverter and battery as well. And we will have also, we are doing some release in our CNI inverters. All of them, we increase our MPPT, should be fit for biggest PV models. That's the idea.
Well, that's very interesting because you know the market from utility to residential and everything. That's pretty interesting. Thank you so much. And I want to ask you too, how Sungrow analyzed the Brazilian market, because we already talked about that crazy boom in the country. How you analyze that market?
So Sungrow, we are really focused on emerging markets like Brazil. Just to have an idea, nowadays we are in Brazil 52 people, focus only on inverter, which is biggest for our segment. I think there is no one who has biggest team like we have here. We have right now 2, and we will have until December 3 different warehouses in Brazil, because Brazil is the biggest country, right? And then we have one headquarters in São Paulo, another service center in São Paulo, and we are starting a new warehouse in Northeast Brazil, another place to support the customer and to make one faster attendment with them. And we have regional field engineer, which can go to customer faster, our laboratory. That's the idea. It means we try to have a biggest structure to support the customer. And why we are focused on this way? Because first of all, service is the best point for Sungrow. If you have a biggest service team, the customer can be more comfortable to buy one inverter, because they can see that we are here and you can promote and also supporting them anytime. Also, the problem in Brazil that we are seeing nowadays, which is the market is booming. Most of competitors coming to here, which is affecting the quality of the installation. There are a lot of small integrators, which they have no experience, and they are buying any equipment, focus on the price, which is not good, not healthy for the business, the future. This is one kind of points we are trying to focus locally here to organize the regulation, to organize the standard. Then we are still focused to develop one new regulation for storage system, which doesn't have it locally here. That's the reason we are not put power on this kind of segment, right? And also, we are trying to discuss with the government to have incentives regarding the taxes, the importation, and more predictability, because you don't know how big is the market for the next 5 years, right? When you focus on utility scale, for example, we have no predictability regarding the auction. It means we need to focus on private market, but there is no incentive by the government that you can see, okay, the government will do 5 giga per year in the next 5 years. It's really difficult to understand about it. Then if you have this future more clear, for sure, the company, they can make more efforts and investments in the country to grow with the whole segment locally here, right?
You talk about something interesting for us and for the world, that is the challenges that the renewable has in probably Brazil and a lot of countries around the world. Can I ask you if you can identify a specific challenge, or maybe some specific challenges that Brazil has with the renewable energy would be, I don't know what you consider.
Brazil, it's a renewable country, right? Because most of our energy market is based on the hydro, wind, and also solar nowadays. I would say the most important topic that we need to have or to focus here is the mature in the market. Because the mature, you can see better regulation, better safety instruction for the installers. Mature market means biggest EPC company who can provide and support the investors and the end user locally here. Mature marketing means also one specific regulation for energy trading, like depends on the time, hour, or we have different prices per region. There is no consolidated country that you can trade energy. If you install one PV plant in Northeast, you can sell the energy in Southeast or in the center of the country. This is the kind of regulation that we need to focus for this segment, right? And finally, it's another important topic to focus on the renewable market means incentives, because there is no local production. We depend on foreign companies, and most of the companies, they don't have biggest structure just because there is no predictability in the business. And when you see incentives, when you see one specific regulation, clear rules for foreign companies and specific regulation for equipments, then we can see long and bright future for renewable business market in Brazil.
Well, Rafael, thank you so much for being here, for talking about Sungrow, that is one of the most important PV companies in the sector. And thank you for being with Review Energy in this time.
So thank you for your time. And if you want to be here in Brazil next week, let's celebrate our 6 gigawatts deployed.
We'll be there. We'll be there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.